Hi folks, here's the Data Meister, and I'm happy to meet you. Right now I'm in Pittsburgh. You see that little monument here behind me? That old area here was a steel mill, I have learned. This is a hot metal road, and right behind me is the river. And if you go further down the river, there is Pittsburgh downtown proper. And actually yesterday I was at a concert, at a private concert with the pianist who really played in an amazing way, partially one hand, in a home of some celebrities here in Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's interesting. This week was exciting, and I think I use it now to do my first broadcast. Some of you, well, actually a lot of you might already know me. My name is Dirk Grunewald, right? Or here on this channel I call myself the Data Meister, which has some relationship and some reference to what I'm doing, what I've done in the last 28 years. So it's quite some time, where my way led me from humble beginnings in Germany to where I am right now as we speak. It was actually an amazing week. You might have seen some of my posts on LinkedIn, where I was at the Michigan State University Artificial Intelligence Club, where I saw the presentations of some amazing kids. It was very energizing, right? And some of you saw me on a speech where I was remotely plugged in from Detroit into a place in Karlsruhe. I was talking about some of these marketing buzzwords which are being used loosely by the consultants in the space where I'm in. And you see that on my head, that space or that subject I'm in is data, right? So, and that's, yeah, I'm not necessarily a fan of everything the man does, but I hope he wouldn't mind that I use a little bit of a reference. We make data great again. Why is that? Because our world, everything, all aspects of our lives are governed by data, right? And we are governed by data. Unfortunately, only few people, if at all, hardly anyone, is governing the data. The data is governing you, and a lot of organizations, a lot of people struggle with it on various levels. And this channel is supposed to take care of that a little bit. So we'll talk about data. We'll talk about how it impacts us in all of our lives, and starting from like our work, starting or going to the relationship with our family, with the authorities, with government. There's a lot of politics around data, in particular when it comes to things like data privacy, but also recently artificial intelligence and machine learning. And you might already know from some of my speeches that most of artificial intelligence is just fake news, right? It's mostly all machine learning, and many other aspects in life where things are being regulated, and where actually data is being used to grab power, to actually govern us as human beings. And some governments, and not just the ones which are being known as authoritarian, but also now the so-called democratic governments, are using it against us, actually. Are not using it for our benefit, but for their benefit. right? And hence one needs to be vigilant, needs to use common sense when dealing with it, right? Again, in whatever capacity, in whatever situation in life. In particular, I help with my business, with digital consulting hours. I help companies, I help organizations, sometimes even governments, but mostly companies, to make the best out of their data, right? So the data about, predominantly the data about the products companies are selling, and we help them to sell them faster, to sell more of them, and to sell with better margins, which all involves both, as you know, the cost side, but also the revenue side. In general, just to, well, have more benefit of it. But again, it goes far beyond that, and it's not easy. It's a hard task, because it involves one thing most technologists do not have in mind when they are talking about data. It involves human beings, and human beings are not functioning according to the laws of math or statistics. They are functioning according to some other laws and other rules, and the way how data is being organized and structured is not necessarily always the way how human beings are organized and structured. So there is a natural conflict here, and hence if you want to be successful with data, then you have to think holistically, and you have to think from the human perspective first, right? So some of you might have already seen some of my slides where I just say you have to think old-fashioned first before you reap any benefits. There is no I in artificial intelligence without data. Or the last slide was titled, there is also, you can't mesh a data fabric or without data, right? That's the main element, right? So we'll have to look a little bit into what data actually is, and then also define some of these other concepts. And then obviously in practical application, then assess where the individual organizations or the individuals really are on that way, on that pathway. And I can tell you already, most of us, most of you, at the most basic level, still trying to understand what's going on, right? And that's what this channel going forward is supposed to be. It shall provide some guidance, some support, and obviously I'm happy for any comments I get, right? I just checked the last time. I'm starting now with 26 subscribers, but hopefully that is becoming more. You can help with that by doing the usual things, you know, also from the other folks who are doing this here at YouTube, right? You subscribe, you hit the bell, right? You like what I'm doing, or maybe you don't. Maybe you provide some comments. I would appreciate that as well, right? But nevertheless, I look forward to be on that way. So you will hopefully going forward hear more about me. So I will, tomorrow I'm at a beautiful place, hopefully, if everything goes well, at the Finger Lakes in New York State. And we'll come from there, and then I will tell you a little bit more about, first of all, about myself, who I am, where I come from, and what I do, because it's much more than just taking care of data. There is a higher purpose in what I'm doing, and I will talk about that also over time. Well, I wish you all a blessed weekend, blessed Saturday. For some of you it's the Sabbath, right? For some of you it's tomorrow, Sunday. And all the best. God bless.